right, we want to return to the West Coast and the BC election now and the waiting game as the final ballots are being tallied. I want to bring in CTV's Regan Hasegawa. She's in Surrey for us this morning. Regan, what a weekend. What can you tell us about where things stand right now and how long it will take before all the final results are in?
Good morning, Marcia. The nail biter that is BC politics does continue this morning as we wait final numbers from the ballots from Saturday's election. So as it stands right now, the initial count, this information from Elections BC shows that David Eby's NDP has 46 seats, John Rustad's Conservatives have 45, and the Green Party was able to secure 2 seats. So that leads all of those parties short of that 47-seat majority, that magic number that is needed to form government. But there's still a lot of factors at play at the moment. The initial count is done, but we are still waiting for the final count, which is expected to take place between October 26th and October 28th. And we have been told by Elections BC that there's approximately 49,000 ballots that will be included in that final count, and the majority of those are mail-in ballots.
And what are you hearing from people across the province about this?
This has been a nail-biter election from the start, Marcia, and so I think a lot of people were hoping that Saturday would bring some sort of feeling of finality. That, of course, did not happen because it's still unclear who is going to be taking control of the legislature this time around. So a lot of anxious waiting, a lot of frustration. We do know that BC voters did turn out in record numbers this time around at the advanced polls and on election day as well. More than 2 million ballots were cast, which is a record number for BC. We had about 57% voter turnout this time around, which is up 3% from the last election. So there was definitely an increased feeling of enthusiasm here when it came to casting the ballot, but it's still going to be about another week or so before British Columbians finally get the answers that they're looking for.
Okay, and in the meantime, Regan, just a quick question about the leaders. Have we heard from them? Are we expecting to hear from them anytime soon?
We did hear from them, and honestly, it was kind of a weird vibe. I was covering the Surrey NDP election headquarters on Saturday night, and it was almost like being at a hockey game when people would cheer when there was a small lead, and when there was fallback, there's a lot of crossed arms and a lot of upset in those rooms. We did hear from both the leaders on the election night. None of them really claimed victory, but both of them did express a lot of hope for the future, that they'll be able to secure a government. And just keep in mind, back in 2017, we saw something similar when the Liberals had a very slim lead. They were eventually toppled and did not form government because of an agreement reached between the NDP and the Green Party, and that deal lasted 3 years. So that is also a deal that is still on the table, and it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few days.
All right, Regan, thanks for that. Regan Hasegawa for us this morning.